Hello and welcome to day number 5 of the 2026 iQFOiL European Championships here in beautiful Portimão in Portugal, and yet another dreamy day here at this location, bringing you some of the action exactly as it happens on this live stream. And we can see, we've got some kites out as well, along with all the iQFOilers. So we have wind, we have sun, and there we have the iQFOilers making their way out onto the water for their racing here on, as we said, day number 5 of the European Championships. Hello and welcome. My name is Rafty Reed, and this is the 2026 European Championships. It's great to see you all here. Make sure that you tune in today to see who will make it in to those medal races tomorrow. It is the top 10. It is the battle for that top 10 who make it in and have a chance at getting that European Championship title tomorrow. So you will not want to miss it. And also, all the fans out here, all your mates, make sure you share this link around, share the live stream around so they can also see all this action that happens today. But we've also got a lot of spectators out on the beach there witnessing the action, and it's going to be really, really exciting to see. But as we see, we are on the waters of Portimão in Portugal, and let's have a look at this amazing location here in Portugal. Racing that we've seen here, but also all the tents, all the organisation to make this competition happen. It's huge, absolutely huge. We've got this beautiful beach here, we've got access to all of the beach, and we've got some huge tents on the beach right next to the beach. And not only have they been here for the competition, but also many weeks before, so all these athletes have been able to train pretty hard, because this is a extremely important competition. So, they haven't only been here for the days of the competition, they've been here weeks and weeks before. But we have already had some days here, as it is day number 5 so far. So let's have a look at some of the previous days here at the European Championships. It's day 4 of the 2026 iQFOiL Europeans here in Portimão, and today the wind was back in full force. 5 races were scheduled for both gold fleets, so let's get straight into it. After 3 course races, the wind relaxed off a bit, so the course was changed to slalom. In the men, Luke van Opsieland remains in the lead, while Gray Morris jumps into second place, overtaking Johan So, who completes the top 3.
Yeah, I probably spend enough time in Europe to be called a European, so I'm definitely aiming on standing up on the European leaderboard on top of the podium. So we'll see. It'll be a bit of fun.
I think I kind of survived today, and then I'm really looking forward to tomorrow.
Equal on points in fourth at the moment is Federico Poloni.
Gold feet racing is really harsh, can be really harsh, so I try to keep it as simple as possible. Had really good races, and that means I'll be in a good position for tomorrow. Still 5 more races to go, so I'll try and keep it all together till the end.
In the women's fleet, the lead remains unchanged as well. Tamar Steinberg didn't have the best day, but still managed to close out with a race win, allowing her to stay at the top. Behind her, it was a bittersweet day for the Chinese. Wen Qili climbed up to second place, however Zhen Yang dropped from third to sixth. Her spirits were still held high though.
Hi, my name is Zheng Yan, and today is a good day. I'm happy and happy tomorrow.
Rounding out the top three is Maya Gisler, with Shahar Tibi close behind. What a day of action. Tomorrow the pressure keeps building as we will decide who makes it in to those medal races, so make sure you stay tuned. And tomorrow is now these day is that final one before the medal races. So as we said, the battle is on for that top 10. Yesterday it was pretty big in the end, as we saw from that video, from that highlight video. It was pretty windy. It was pretty wavy. It was quite tough conditions out there here in Portimao, but that made for some exhilarating races, some moments where these riders could either win it all or lose it all, and that was certainly what we saw some moments. So make sure if you missed yesterday, you check it out. Also, we did have some wipeouts in there. We saw one of those on the highlights. Luckily, everyone was all good, but you know, that is sometimes happening here in iQFOiL. It is an extreme sport. It's windsurfing, you know, everyone flying super fast above the water. Not only super fast above the water, you know, you got loads of people around you in this competition. We have 75 women and we have 117 men from over 40 countries. So it is absolutely packed out there, you know, and they're not only cruising, they are absolutely sending it, not leaving a centimetre to their opponents. And if they see a centimetre, you know it's going to be taken. It's a bit light now, though, to be perfectly honest. It's a little bit light. We were going to have an earlier start this morning. We had the skippers meeting at 9:30 in the morning, with the possibility to go racing and start that racing at 11 o'clock. However, the wind hasn't come through as big as it was forecasting to. Now, it's pretty interesting because, like, where these riders are launching, it's absolutely cranking. It's like 20 knots in this little bit here. But as soon as they make it out on the water where we can do our races, it does drop quite a lot, which is, it's pretty funky, to be perfectly honest. So on the beach, it feels like it's absolutely cranking. But outside, it's not quite as cranking as it is. It's still windy. We're seeing Rita's Jazanas on our screens at the minute, foiling it out full power. But now we go back to where that race course is. We're not seeing many foiling there, are we? We're not seeing many foiling at all, let's say. In the background they are, but here they're not. Gray is, though. Gray Morris certainly is foiling. And with that, let's have a look at some of our previous days in this competition as we are under a little bit of postponement. Hello and welcome to day number 2 of the 2026 iQFOiL European Championships here in Portimao. Before getting into the action of today, we caught up with event organizer Miguel Martinho.
All the Olympic guys walking around for the city, it's good, and for the people and the guys to do windsurfing, it's like a dream for everyone. So I hope we can do a lot of races and a lot of emotions on the water, and I hope that the riders like all.
Conditions today weren't quite like yesterday, but soon enough we were able to get racing.
3, 2, 1.
In the men's fleet, 4 course races were completed in pretty patchy conditions. Performing excellently today was Luc van Opsieland. The Dutchman takes the lead in the overall rankings.
I'm really happy with it. Yeah, I didn't really have the great starts, but I felt like I was dominating in terms of physique and I just managed to kill everybody. So yeah, really excited. Good day. Still a long event, but yeah, I think we're standing good.
Johan So is currently second, while Gray Morris third. Over to the women's fleet. In their area, the wind was a bit lighter, so the upwind sprint format was raced. Tamar Steinberg managed to retain her lead with 3 race wins. Closing in, however, is Maya Gisler with 3 bullets of her own.
I did good, yeah. I got 3 first positions and then 1 second, so that's a quite stable and good day, yeah. I think it's still early days, but of course it's nice to have some good results in the book, and we keep going, but yeah, it's good.
Rounding out the top 3 is Zhen Yang. That's it for today. More to come tomorrow, so we'll see you there. Ooh, what a return! What a return! France 8:30, absolutely shredding it out. Bit of a boost there, a mega boost. But here is where it is pretty cranking at the minute. It's windy. It's super windy. It's super close to the beach and outside, but as soon, that pocket of wind is so small at the minute, and too small to run a race in, and not in the correct position. So where we are at the minute is, okay, that's perfect. We can see how close they are to the beach at the minute, and they're going for a little ride on the waves. That looks like a great fun, shredding the gnar out there, cruising out on those waves. France 8:30, absolutely cranking away, having a very good time. But yeah, so we are currently under AP, as we said just before we saw those highlights. There is that committee post. So that is a perfect contrast. That's where we have to run the racecourse at the minute, and it looks pretty light over there. It looks completely different to this tiny little funnel of wind. So they make their way out there, but unfortunately we just don't quite have those conditions where we need to run that racing. Yeah, I can't really stress how small and interesting this pocket of wind really is. Hopefully it moves out to where where we can have the race course. Here is France 8:30, just cruising out, having a lovely time with the sport, just cruising. That's what we love to see, making his way down to that course, France 8:30, which is Lucas Gardain. Look at that, though. Look at that. That looks great. We also got a kite surfer out there, shredding on the waves, catching those waves. He's where the wind is at the minute, but you can see it's so shallow right there. But further out, we do have a little bit of wind out there, but we are under AP flag, as you can see at the top of that banner. This is a perfect follow, kind of a perfect representation of what we're having today. Lucas here, France 8:30, made his way out onto the water, and right next to the beach, you saw he was catching those waves. He was pretty powered up, and as soon as he goes a bit further out, where we need to run that race course, it really drops off a fair bit. So that's why he's jibed back to the beach there, to get that wind and make his way down to that race course. So we have that flag up on the boat. I can see the red, the red and white flag. That is the AP flag, meaning that we are under postponement until later warning, and also the yellow and black square flag. that signifies that we are moving somewhere. So as you can see, Lucas still, he's made his way back to the shore because he wants to ride that wave. Oh, look at that. He's shred. Oh, right top on the foil. Look at that little bottom turn. There we go. Top turn round on that wave. Going around these rocks. Wow, this location really is beautiful, isn't it? I'm a bit jealous of Lucas here. He is just, it looks prime. It looks prime. He's in the wind. He's in the waves. And as we said, closer to that beach is more wind. There is more wind over there. So we can see that committee boat. That is where the race crew are on and organise all the racing. That's moving. And that is moving closer to the beach where we... Oh, he's gone for it. He's gone for it. Holy moly. Oh, so, right. Yesterday, check it out on the Instagram. We saw a forward loop. No, a back loop, sorry. A back loop on the... let me just double check. Now, you guys really need to check it out. It was Lucas indeed. Lucas, oh, he's going for it. He's going for it. Holy moly. Oh, he's so nearly stuck it. Yesterday, he stuck a back loop on the iQFOiL equipment, and it really was the cleanest thing I saw ever. It was so sick. So, hopefully... we'll see Lucas. I mean, he's going for it. He's just done 2. He's been so close every time, just sending it up those waves and going for that back loop. Now, you don't see that very... he's gone for a forward. He's only gone for a forward on the iQFOiL equipment on a 95 wide board, and he's gone for a back loop as well here. Oh, holy moly! That is wicked. What a legend. He so nearly stuck it. Focus on France 830. Lucas Gadain, what a legend. Oh, yeah. So if you didn't see, yesterday, Lucas stuck one of the cleanest back loops I've seen. It was unreal. Like, his landing was perfect. And not, like, you know, in windsurfing... you know, we see a lot of back loops, whether that's on freestyle or waves, you know, popping it over. I have never seen one on iQFOiL equipment. So bear in mind that Lucas here is on an 8-meter squared sail. It's got cams. It's a race sail. The board is pretty large. It's 95 centimeters wide, and he's on a foil. He's on race equipment, and he's only shredding it out, going for back loops, going for front loops. Yeah. Let's go for the replay one more time. Let's have a look at this steez. Let's have a look. Let's just sit and watch. Let's get the popcorn out for this replay. Lucas, France 830. He's only gone for the forward. What a legend. So nearly stuck it. He was literally just... and here's the back. Here's the back loop. Oh. Again, so nearly stuck it. Oh, holy moly. That is wicked. That's what we... well, I mean... I wasn't expecting to see that on the live stream today, to be perfectly honest. I was expecting to see the European Championships of iQFOiL Racing. That's what we will be seeing very, very soon when the conditions and race course is correct. But at the minute, we're seeing a little bit of freestyle on the iQFOiL class equipment. Wow. Shout out Lucas. What a legend. So yeah. If you want to see Lucas stick that, check out the iQFOiL class Instagram. There's a great video on there. We might see Lucas do it again later. We'll wait and find out, eh? We'll wait and find out. But yeah, so do make sure you check out the Instagram for all the latest updates and interviews from everyone here at the iQFOiL European Championships of 2026. Also, the website for all the latest results, all the information about this competition, about past events and also future events. But now, here is the place to be. Here is where we're going to be seeing this racing live, exactly as it happens. Bringing you the action, bringing you the adrenaline, and bringing you iQFOiL. Oh, so we can see everyone starting to relocate to this course. We can see Guillet on the front of that boat. It looks as if he's starting to lower that anchor. Maybe they have found the correct course, the correct place to lay this course. They've got a pretty cool anchor system there. It's rather than your traditional anchor that's a big heavy thing at the bottom of a chain, and that like sticks in the sand, sticks in the rocks at the bottom of the sea. There's a little motor on the front there, so it's done over GPS, and that motor keeps them in the right position, which is really cool. But yeah, we can still see that AP flag up on the boat. Jenny Roberts, we've just caught her going for a little cruise around the boat, and here is where it's nuking. You can see us. We're on that pier in the van and in that box. So we are right close to the action now, and right close to the action is the wind. As you can see, like we're super close to the beach now, and kind of the closer we are to the beach, the more wind there is. But as soon as it goes outside, it is super, super light. It was I think the latest update was around 8 knots, 8 to 9 knots, and then it was 4 to 5 knots at one point this morning. So it's pretty marginal conditions. You go outside and have a look. If it's 5 knots and below, you think, yeah, there's no wind out there. Now, these iQFOiLs are epic. We can race in such a huge range of conditions, from super light, almost no wind, to absolutely cranking kind of nuclear survival conditions out on the water. However, at the end of the day, we do use the wind as our engine, so we need at least a little bit of puff. A little bit of puff just to get us foiling. And we certainly are in that little bit of puff now. Just setting the course, I'm sure they are now. We've got that grey flag up on the committee boat showing that we are doing slalom racing. And if we do slalom racing in this, I think it's going to be pretty exciting, because not only is it pretty windy next to this beach, there's some big waves coming down, as you can see, some big bits of swell. So they're going to have to think about that. Now, not only is there a lot of wind next to that beach, so windy slalom, not only is there some big waves coming down that all these riders have to think about and maintain their height on the foil over those waves. It's pretty gusty and shifty out there. So again, pretty tough conditions. Pretty and gusty, shifty. We know it's like that because further out on the course, where originally that course was going to be set, wasn't quite enough wind. So really, in 100 meters, 200 meters or so, there's such a big difference in wind. So these riders have to think, where can I be in the most wind as possible? Because more wind equals more power. The wind is their engine. If you have more wind, you have more power, and you can transform that into more speed or more angle. More speed over a course is obviously going to get you faster to your destination. Angle can mean you can shorten your course. So it's all about that balance between shortening your course with angle and arriving first at your destination with speed. That combination is called VMG, Velocity Made Good. And all these riders are having to think about that balance. How can they perfect that balance of VMG with these waves, with this wind, and with these gusts? Oh, I am excited. I am so excited. I hope you are excited as well, because this is going to be epic. The pressure is on. This is the penultimate day of the 2026 European Championships. So, do you know what that means? Everyone is going to be battling it out to the absolute max. Remember, it is only the top 10 that race tomorrow, but anyone inside of that top 10 get a chance at getting that European Championship title. Now, if you come in 10th, You know, you've got a huge mountain to climb. You need to qualify from those quarters into those semis and win the finals. You know, you've got a lot of races. You need to place top 2 and win within those finals. But if you go in first, you're already inside of that grand final and already on 1 win. So all you need to do is 1 win. So the winners get extremely rewarded, but still it is exciting because anyone can get that championship title, and also whoever wins that last race will be winning this whole event. So, you know, the battle is on, not only to get inside of that qualifying position into those medal races, the battle is also on where they can all place within that top 10 going through to tomorrow, because the higher up the rankings are significantly rewarded for their performance throughout this week. Oh, holy moly, this is going to be epic. Now, we are still under AP. AP, a bit of postponement flag. We can see that triangular white and red flag just flapping a little bit in the wind. So there is a little bit of wind out there, but you can see it's not consistently flapping. It's flying sometimes, it's dropping again, showing that it's still, you know, it's tricky out there. It's not all plain, it's not all normal, you know, and nothing is super consistent out there. But that's awesome, you know. Some people might think, oh yeah, you know, you want it all normal, you know. There's 2 sides to that. Yes, of course, you know, there's 2 sides, but adding in these extra elements, adding in these waves, adding in these gusts makes it so exciting, because these riders need to keep their head in the game. And keeping their head in the game, they will be. But with that, we've got a little bit still under this postponement, so let's have a look at the highlights from the first day of this competition.
Welcome to the 2026 iQFOiL European Championships in Portimao. The event's turnout? Over 190 competitors from 42 countries.
Always great to have all the countries, the best riders, like everybody, like such a good vibe.
I'm pretty excited. It's cool to be on the start line again at a European Championship.
That is going to be a great event. Portimao is always a windy place, so I'll bet we get many races.
I'm very excited for this event. I think all the girls, there is a really high level.
I mean, once you're at the start, you're fighting to win the race and hopefully the event.
Probably top 20, top 30 can all have a chance to win a medal.
Let's see if the work of the winter was good.
There are many non-European countries represented as well. A truly global fleet.
Yeah, here to get some good practice in, and with all the big dogs in the fleet and lots of numbers on the start line, so super excited.
Conditions were splendid on day 1, so let's go straight into it. Course races were completed. In terms of results, it's still early days. Taking the lead, however, in the women is Tamar Steinberg.
My day overall I think was pretty good. I managed to win 2 races. Yeah, feels good. Just hope for the next days that they will be good.
In the men's fleet, taking 3 wins and a 2nd place, Finn Hawkins.
Yeah, I had an amazing day today. I got 3 firsts and a 2nd. It was literally champagne sailing out there. Couldn't have been any nicer, windy, sunny. Race committee did a great job of getting the races done. And yeah, I'm pretty buzzing. I'll just try and keep my head screwed on, do what I do, start well, make good decisions, and hopefully stay at the front.
What a way to open a championship. We'll see you for more racing tomorrow.
The sun is still shining and the wind is certainly blowing. It looks like the wind has certainly picked up a little bit as well now, so we are definitely going to get underway with our racing here on day number 5 of the 2026 iQFOiL European Championships. Today we are going to be seeing the gold group racing it out, gold women and gold men. We have the orange flag up, meaning that there is a warning. Warning to go. We have the AP flag still up with that red and white triangular flag. That is a great view of our race committee, and the AP flag is down. We are going to be getting underway with racing, slalom racing out here very, very soon. The wind's blowing, the sun is shining, and we are going to be getting action underway very soon. We'll be seeing who will be racing first, whether that is the gold women or whether that will be the gold men, as soon as we see that class flag risen up into the sky. But still, we have that heat number 1. The one will be who we are starting with. We also have that orange flag up, as we said. That is our warning, but also marks exactly that start line. We can also see another pole in the air there. That is our light system, a new system here at the European Championships, and that allows us to get that start line pinpoint accurate. With flags, you have a bit of, you can raise and lower flags, but with lights, they're either on or off. So with this, we managed to get our starts and calling that start line, whether people are over or under, even more accurate. And we have class flag up. We can see the pink flag. We are underway with the Heat 1 for the gold women coming up very, very soon. Inside of the last 3 minutes. It's still pretty light out there. Race 14, Heat 1 for the gold women coming up very soon. That is our start line from that yellow square-based pyramid. Yeah, I think that we can call that a square-based pyramid. Up to that start line from that committee boat. That is exactly our line. So draw a line directly in the screen there from that committee boat to that yellow mark. That is the start line. Now, you might think, how do these riders know? There's no line that puts them to the start line. There's no line drawn between those two ends of that start line. So how do they know? They do it off feel. They do it off real feel and how close they are far away from that start line. So this is another thing that is really hard that all these riders have to think about, because there can't be any line drawn between there, because they have foils under their board, so they're flying. If they hit that line, then they're going to be having a little bit of a crash. So they have to keep their head in the game. There's a couple things that these riders can do to help them find exactly where that start line is. One of them is called a transit. Now, transit is when you go onto the line, one end of the start line, and then you look down, as we were on that view before, and we pick a point that's in line with that start line, and then they can look upwind or downwind where they are, or along that start line, and kind of base how far they are away from that line. However, it isn't quite as applicable with a reaching start, because it's hard to look directly behind you and in front of you, because that sail is there. So it's even harder with a reaching start. But we will see how close all these riders will be hitting this start line to that 0-0. We are definitely inside of that last minute now. We have the gold women, heat number 1, on our screens at the minute, just setting up, ready for their first start here on day number 5 of the 2026 iQFOiL European Championships. Out in the front, we have Greece 8. That is Danae. Danae Iannulli, is she going to have a great start? Emma Wilson coming in with some speed, and down that bottom end we have Medea Falcioni going for it. Daniela Pellic just above her, but look straight back up at that top end. I think that is Emma Wilson. Is that Danae Iannulli as well, having a good start? Pilar Madrid also in there as well, but it is so close at the minute. Medea Falcioni certainly has that speed down that bottom end. Will she be able to hold it all the way towards that first mark? Remember, they are all going towards this same mark on this top reach. Pilar Madrid is in the front, Medea Falcioni is in the front, and Daniela Pellic. Top three is certainly establishing themselves so far. Tamar Steinberg, our current competition leader, is also in that top five as well. Emma Milend is in there from Estonia in that top five. It is so close towards this first mark, but it is Medea Falcioni, the young Italian, reaching out, going for a drive straight away, because as we saw, there is a lot more wind on that right side of the course, close to that beach. They are all pumping hard. It's pretty light over there, but they are working their absolute heart out to maintain their lead within this race so far. Around 5 to 7 minutes is the target time for this race, so it's sharp, and it is fun. Currently riding that wave towards that beach at the minute. We did see, there's a lot of waves. The sea state is pretty big out here. It is Medea Falcioni still holding on by an absolute thread, though, because Daniela Pellic is right on behind her, really attacking. This is the top two at the minute. This is that fight for that lead within this race here on day number 5 of the European Championships. Where is this ley line? Medea is looking to jibe. Oh, a little bit of a tough jibe from there, because Daniela is absolutely attacking. She's fighting hard, and they're still pumping as hard as they can. There is that bottom mark. Where's that ley line? It looks like Medea is maybe overlaid it slightly, and that could allow Daniela Pellic to roll over the top of her with that speed, and so she does. Daniela Pellic has taken the lead off of Medea Falcioni, but still Medea is holding on by a thread to that second place. Actually, in third place is Tamar. There is the bottom reach. Oh, okay, so Tamar has unfortunately, no, Shahar that was. Shahar I'm not sure quite what happened there. She just missed the mark. Probably she was thinking to go the other way, but straight back to the leaders. That is indeed Daniela Pellic in that lead at the minute, closely followed by Medea Falcioni, and right behind her, Daniela Pellic. Right behind her is Tamar Steinberg in that yellow bib on that Patrick equipment. But out in the lead is Daniela Pellic on the Saverna, on the starboard. And in that second place, another nice jibe from Medea on that starboard board and Savern sail. It is absolutely cranking. Medea is pumping to the max. She is shredding, and she is still trying to hold on to that lead. Will she be trying to attack? Will she be putting the gas down? She certainly is. She's leaning out. She's sheeting in at full power, but Daniela Pellic is holding on to that lead. Where is the finish line? Look how close it is, even in the back. That 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, and around that last mark is so hectic where it's so light. But Daniela Pellic showing us an absolute masterclass of how to win the first race here on day number 5 of the European Championships. What a result there. Pilar Madrid crossing the line now, and Emma in the rest of it there. I think that's Emma, Danae in there as well, and Sarah probably. Amy as well, cruising out. What a first race here on day number 4 of the European Championships. Big battle there. Who is that between? I think that is Emma and Mariana, probably. British and Mexico. Whew. It's pretty good out here. It is certainly pretty good out here. As we did see earlier, we've been on a bit of a hold throughout the day because we haven't quite had the conditions out on the water to get racing underway. But now we have the conditions, and we are straight out there, wasting no time and getting this action underway. Let's have a replay at that race. Oh, so here was Shahar. I think she just miscalculated going the other way. So that was a very interesting moment there. Just having a bit of a mistake there, and we are straight into the next race for the women's gold for their next heat number 2 of their big wipe out there in the middle. I really hope they're okay, but they are pushing to the max on this top reach. It is windy, it's pretty speedy, and they need to make sure that they are maintaining their control on this top reach, because they are cranking out there, probably at almost 30 knots of speed out here, because it is windy. And it is Anastasia Valkovic in this bottom end at the minute, really shredding it out. China 17 also in amongst of that front at the minute. Wenqi Li is leading out to this first pack. First pack is on, and she's doing well. She did come into today in second place. You can see her wearing that blue bib there. Each of these riders, the top 3 in each, men and women, wear their special coloured lycras. The winner, the leader gets the yellow, the second place gets the blue, and the third gets the red. And who's wearing the yellow helmet? It is Anastasia Valkovic, sticking out of the front as well. Could she be leading? She did jibe off straight away, unlike Wenqi Li, who went a little bit further onto that left side. Will that be a good idea? Thinking about that previous race, Shahar Tibi we didn't see her previously. I didn't see her previously in that front pack, but she did come right out of nowhere. I mean, didn't quite go round the mark the right way, but she had a really good downwind. Maybe she could have gone on the other side, and it is still Wenqi Li who is still in quite a lead. Maybe she's extended her lead a fair bit here. Wenqi Li in the lead at the minute, closely followed by Anastasia Valkovic, Poland 6 on our screens on the right. Now just behind Wenqi Li at the minute. She's got the glasses on. She's looking at Anastasia. She's trying to defend, and she is trying to win all the way to the finish. She's got this speed now that's looking really good. Just holding that height on the foil, holding that sail, and transforming all that power from the wind into speed. And now it is those final 2 drag races towards the finish. We're getting all up and close, up and personal to Wenqi Li. Look at this shot. You can see her facial expression. She is in the zone. She is concentrating. She is making sure that she doesn't wipe out at the minute, because that would be very costly. She is in the lead at the minute, and she is winning. Could she hold it all the way to the finish? We'll find out very soon. Look at her face though. She's going for that jibe. She is concentrating. How can she maintain that glide? How can she maintain that speed all the way towards that finish? And she does it absolutely expertly. Keeps her head in the game. And Anastasia also keeps her head in the game. And as she holds it round that mark and follows all the way towards that finish. In that third place, it is Tuva Oppadell having a corker of a race as well. Speed of 35, 36, 26. It's fast out there. It's pretty light here though. You know, the difference between that top reach and these 2 bottom reaches are pretty huge. You know, it's pretty windy up the top, and it's pretty light down here. So, you know, these riders have to be so adaptable. As Wenqi Li crosses that line in first place, our overall second place within the women, winning that race, closely followed by Anastasia Valkovic, having a very good race there. Unfortunately, yesterday, she didn't quite have the race she was hoping for. She did break a mast, unfortunately, but her coaches helped her out so well. She was straight back to the beach, changed that mast, and straight back out on the water. But, you know, those types of things can really mess with your head. You know, we saw Wenqi Li, her facial expression there. She was so in the zone. Nothing was phasing her. But you know, when you have a big thing that just throws all that concentration out the window, it can be really hard to come back to that moment, to come back to that frame of mind. but these riders are some of the best in the world. A lot of them are the best in the world. You know, this is the European Championships, but it's almost the standard of a World Championships. You know, as we saw previously there, Wenji Li all the way from China, racing it out here at the European Championships, seeing where she places, and we're straight back to the action. We're on the men now, and we had a great start up that top. Whoa, the speed is on for these men out here. Slightly bigger sails on their 8 meter squared. Out in the front, we have Kieran Badlow, Netherlands 9. Down that bottom end, our yellow bib wearer of Luke van Opsieland, GBR18. Duncan is in amongst of it there. He is showing what he's worth. He is showing that he has the speed, and he is showing that he has the send, the pure send. Who is going to be rounding that mark in first place? Oh, we have some huge names within this race. Nacho Baltazar Summers, Nicola Goyard. Also, we have Noah Lyons in there, Igor Lewinsky. God, it's absolutely cranking out here. There is that first mark, all deciding to jibe off straight away. Eli lifting in there. We had a big moment in there. Oh, it's all so close in there, but the majority all managing to just push out. But it is Kieran Badlow out in the front, but Duncan Monaghan is working hard. He is attacking, so is Kieran. Almost a bit of synchronized pumping there, but Duncan keeps going. He does not stop. He stops a little bit there, and Kieran starts again. It is the battle of the pumping. Who can get the most speed? Who can get the most angle? But it is Duncan Monaghan. Could he have overtaken Kieran Badlow here? We have Luke van Opsieland on our screen. There we have that yellow bib wearer. There is Kieran. But where is Duncan? Look at the distance that he has covered. Where is that ley line? Luke and Nicholas Goyard deciding to jibe a lot earlier than Duncan here. Where is that bottom mark? Eli lifting has come into it too. Where has he come from? He's had an absolute insane first leg off his downwind. A little bit of a touchdown there, but nothing is phasing him. Duncan Monaghan is coming back into the pack now, though. It is Eli lifting who's looking like he is in the lead there, though. Oh, this top 5 is all so close, and now Igor Lewinsky is in here as well. Oh, Tom Ruveny is also in here. God blimey, Tom Ruveny has done it perfectly. It looked like he jibed a lot earlier. He got that ley line correct. Just above him is Eli lifting, and in that third place now is Igor Lewinsky, but still on, you can just see Luke van Opsieland has come through. Oh, look at the speed though. Tom is looking behind him. Our current 2024 Olympic champion is leading yet again within this race. It's so close. It's all going to be on this jibing mark. How is it? Is Tom going to leave any room? Eli's gone for it, but no, Tom has left no room. Eli's going for the pumping. He's going for the lower line. This is the battle for this first and second place within their first race here on day number 5 of the European Championships. They're both pumping towards that end because the wind is a bit lighter. Who can have that speed? Who can have that angle? It is absolutely neck and neck. It looks like possibly Eli lifting has got a little bit of extra speed here. He's flying so high up on the foil, trying to minimize that drag as physically possible, even going faster than those seagulls there, and it is Eli lifting who takes that win within this race, closely followed by Tom Ruveny. Then there's, oh, look how close that was. Igor in there, Kieran, Duncan, Nicholas, Noah. Whoa, that was epic. That was so epic, that race there. That is what we love to see. Windy slalom. God, that is awesome. But it was insane because we saw our leaders pretty early on there. Push out. We saw Duncan in there. We saw Kieran Badlow. But then out of nowhere, Eli lifting came in. And then even more out of nowhere, Tom Ruveny came into it. And they held it all the way towards that finish. There was a big battle. You know, first it was Tom Ruveny who managed to have that lead at that bottom mark. But no, you know, he had it at the start. But then Eli lifting just absolutely sent it. There was no racing, there was no dawdling around for him. You know, second was not good enough for Eli. So he pushed all the way to the end and he managed to secure that lead. Oh, this is awesome. If you make sure you share this link around. Make sure you tell all your mates to tune in to this live stream because it is epic. We've got the next race coming up for the senior men on our screens at the minute. Under a minute to go. They're all starting to foil. They're all starting to accelerate. Who's going to be hitting that start on the 0-0 at full speed? Front 965 up that top end. Having a good one there. And here we go. Down that, to the left. There was a bit of a wipeout there. Hopefully they are all okay. Brazil 7. That is Mateus Isaac down that bottom end, having a great start. Also Gray Morris. And it's looking like they are all starting to sheet out a little bit. But Mateus Isaac down that bottom end is not stopping at all. Gray Morris in that blue bib. And we do have a general recall. Whoa, this is so exhilarating. But as we said, they are pushing to the max. They are pushing that start line. And unfortunately, one or more riders was over that start line, meaning that we will be... They will be disqualified. They will be out of that race. And we will be rerunning that start. So do not go... Oh, here we go. Here we have that replay. I think up that top end. There was that crash on the left side of our screens. A little bit of a... Yeah, they both look okay. I mean, but, you know, they're all so close together that this can be the... You know, this is the moment of, you know, having a good start or a bad start. So we're just going under... We'll be seeing who was out of that start. They'll be disqualified, and we'll be rerunning that start as soon as possible. So do not go anywhere. We'll be back with we'll be running this start in the next 5 minutes or so. And we are on the riders, just starting to see who was over that start line, but we do have some highlights from that previous race. And there was the insane start. What a spectacle this is. Out of early doors, it was Eli actually Browning probably first or second in there, and him, along with Tom, decided to drive a lot later. Where did Tom come from? Here was that battle of Kieran and also Duncan Monaghan, and there was Eli coming through. And where was this moment where Tom Ruveny also comes through with it there? Israel 60, and there he is. And there was that battle towards that finish line. You know, there was this first jibing mark. You know, Tom looked pretty safe there. You know, didn't lose any ground there. But Eli went for that deeper line. He under-rolled him there. He had the speed and he nearly topped out there as well. He was pumping all the way to the line, and it looked like he definitely got that. Insane work there. Insane technique. You know, that was an awesome performance there, and it also really rewarded him there as he managed to get that win. But as we see, it is slalom heat number 2 for race 14 for the men's gold group. We have been having some epic racing here in Portimao. This is day number 5 of the 2026 European Championships. If you've just joined us, make sure you look back at the previous races that we've just had. They have been really incredible. Some awesome action, some great speed, some intelligent tactical maneuvers, and some huge work in there, as we saw in that previous race just then. Eli lifting, pumping all the way to the line, leaving nothing leaving nothing, you know, just leaving nothing at all. He was going for every little bit he possibly could, and he got it in the end. Eli lifting winning that first race. Heat 1 for the slalom race here on day number 5 of the 2026 European Championships. We're still under that general recall, so do not go anywhere. We'll see you very, very soon. Probably only a couple minutes, 5 minutes or so, until we get under the way with that next start, so stay tuned. So as we said, we have just had a general recall for heat number 2 for the gold men. We have the class flag up. We are inside this last 3 minutes, and let's have a look at the replay of that start. It looks like up that top end, we had our over earlies, and at that bottom end on the left, we had a little bit of a coming together there, though. They'll probably be very happy that there was a general recall there, as they now get a second chance at getting a good start. You know, they definitely weren't over that start line as they crashed a little bit before. Hopefully their equipment is okay. They both look fine, ready to go again. So I'm sure they'll be in this next race. Also, we can see all these ribs out there. We've got a lot of support for each and every one of these riders. Some of these riders out here, you know, they have a huge support system. They have coaches, they have ribs, they have rules advisors for potential protests, etc. But also, you know, there are some riders here that, you know, don't have any support. Well, of course they'll have support, but they'll have less support. So they won't have this coach. They won't have ribs. They'll be here, you know, racing it out all by themselves. Of course, they'll have their family, you know, supporting them, whether that's from home, whether that's from on the beach. But it's different. Yeah, it's different. Lots of people have different kind of systems in place. But as we can see, there are a lot of coach boats out there. So a lot of them will be able to go over there, refuel, get their drink, have a talk to their coach, get in the right frame of mind, and get underway with their next slalom race. It's pretty, it's pretty blowy still on this top reach. It's so exciting because this top reach is so fast, you know. These riders are having to hit that start line pretty powered up, and as they make their way down the course, it starts to drop off a bit. So we're seeing at the minute that it's the majority of these riders are deciding to jibe off pretty much straight away, because as we can see perfectly here, closer to that beach is more wind, and they're going to be wanting to get into that more wind so they can go faster, so they can get a shorter course by better overall VMG. So whoever was over that start line in the previous race will be out now. and whoever wasn't over will be still in, as they are all starting to foil up, starting to accelerate, starting to fly above the water and getting their timings right. I think it's about 10 or 5 seconds to go. Down that bottom end, we still have Mateusz Isaac decided to go for that pin again. It is so close. Nicolo Renault not quite having the start he was hoping for then, but he's gone for that deeper line, trying to get a clean bit of win. But out in front, it is USA 1 of Makani Andrews having a great start, probably leading it out along with Mateusz Isaac up that top end. We have Australia 8 of is it 3? I think that was 3 of Rory Meehan, also having great starts. In the middle there we have a Dutch rider as well, but it is Makani Andrews, USA 1, who leads it out towards this first mark. It looks like a lot was over in that previous race, as we don't quite have as many riders within here. Didn't quite manage to see at that whiteboard, but look at them all, almost doing a synchronized jibe in there. It is Makani Andrews rounding that top mark in first place and remaining in that first place as he puts in a perfect jibe. He's certainly extended here. He's got that clean win. Netherlands 36 also in amongst of it there of Max Castellijn having a good race in here at the minute. It's looking like on the leaderboard he's first, but I think Makani, I mean, he's not quite on the screens at the minute, but I think he is still within that lead. Mateusz Isaac is also in amongst of it there. And there is Makani, really extended his lead here straight away, actually. He's had a very good first leg of this downwind. Will Ziegler also in there. GBR 484 going for his jibe. A little bit of a lay down there. And in the front, it is still wearing the yellow helmet, flying the USA flag and pumping his equipment is Makani Andrews all the way towards that bottom mark. He is flying. He's having a little look back to see where he stands within this race, and he stands comfortable. So all he needs to do is just stay comfortable. Oh, look at this action. He's in that win now, and he is cranking all the way towards that finish. We can see his facial expression. He's seen us and he is smiling. Look how close we are to this action at the minute. He is alongside Wenchi Lee, who is leading the race. He is also in that zone. He is concentrating hard. He is really working that equipment, maintaining his control, maintaining his speed. It's all down to this jibe. He is feeling the pressure, no doubt, but the pressure doesn't get the hold of him because he executes that jibe with speed, with finesse, with style, and he is cranking all the way towards that finish line. Makani Andrews, what a legend, all the way from the USA, you know. This is the European Championships, and he thought, yeah, let's see how I fare with these competitors, some of the best competitors in the world, and he is putting himself as one of the best competitors in the world in the senior discipline as he crosses the line in first place. He's gone through a little jump. What a legend! Not quite back loop, but we can deal with that. What a legend! Makani Andrews taking that first place. Max Castellijn in that second place, if I can see that number correctly. I think so. Dutch rider followed by Mateusz, and then the rest of those riders going through. Oh, big battle there. Who managed to take that photo finish? I think that was. There is that finish line directly between that committee boat, between that finish boat and that yellow mark. Another great race from those riders. All of those riders cranking it out on those reaches, on those downwinds here in Portimão, Portugal. In the background we have those cliffs. It's a beautiful location. We have the sun shining and the wind blowing. So we are getting underway with racing here for day number 5 of the 2026 iQFOiL European Championships. Up this top end though, where the start is, it is pretty windy. It's awesome up here. It's really windy indeed, and we are probably getting underway with our next start, probably inside the last 1 or 2 minutes already. And we are seeing all these riders starting to speed up yet again towards their next race. Some big riders yet again in here. See Freddie Peloni in amongst of it there. Poland 1, Pavel in there, Valertzen in that front. Leonardo Tomasini up that top end. Sam Sills, he's going for that committee boat end. Down that bottom, Israel 253, France 152, France 7, all speeding towards that line. Who is being able to cross that line in first place? Turkish rider 399. That is a great start from him there. Of Jarvit having a great stop, and up that top end, Sam Silv, Val Ertzen, also Slovenia 31, down that bottom end having a good one, but in the middle it is Johan So, closely followed by Freddie Peloni. Up that top end, it's looking like certainly Jarvit has the speed, and he certainly has that clean wind at the minute. Val is in a tricky position because he has Johan So biting at his heels, wearing that red bib. Will Val down that bottom end be able to hold it all the way to the finish? Jarvit is starting to come down. Oh, it's squeezed out in that first mark. Johan So rounds it by a hair's length, closely followed by Val Erzen, who's put in his jibe. He's on the top of that wave, the same as Johan So. Will he be able to ride that wave all the way to the front? Cool, blimey, there's a lot of birds in the background too, isn't it? But the iQFOilers are even more. They're flying, they're speeding, and they are racing. Johan So is certainly got the lead so far. Where is Jarvit? Did he manage to have a good jump that first little leg of that downwind? Whoa, it's epic out here, but you can see already from that top reach, it was absolutely cranking up there, a really windy top reach. And now the further they go down that course, the wind starts to drop off. It really starts to drop off, so that's why they all jibe straight away to get straight back in that wind. Johan So jibing a lot later than the other two. That will mean he has a little bit of a wider line, so we can maybe have a little bit more speed. Italy 830 has gone from a big attacking maneuver there of Mattia Sancella, having a great downwind so far, and he's coming into probably first and second. He's certainly got the speed too. Will he be able to go over the top of Johan So? It's looking so close here, squeezing him out, but it is Johan So who rounds that mark in first place. I'm pretty sure, if what we're seeing is correct and the leaderboard isn't quite right, is Johan So, Denmark 37. He did come into today wearing that red bib because he in third place overall. So not only is he wearing a red bib, he's got a red flag of Denmark, and he's using that red Patrick sail. Could be also rounding that mark on that Severn sail there. A lot of these riders, you know, that's one epic thing about the iQFOiL class, is that it is open discipline, so open manufacturer, so you can put your logo within the sail. You can have different brands, but the majority all using starboard foils and Severn sails, but they are all exactly the same. It is all down to the rider, and here we are seeing it's Kunbi out in the lead at the minute. It certainly is, closely followed by Pavel Tarnowski. So we were seeing Johan So didn't quite actually have the downwind he was hoping for, but Kunbi certainly did as he takes the lead there. China 1, closely followed by Pavel Tarnowski. Jarvit in there, Mattia having a good race as well, Johan So in there, Freddie having a good race as well. Oh, it's so close between each and every one of these riders, isn't it? It is so close. Not much separating them. One of those Italian riders just topping off a little bit. But the winner was Kunbi. And we are straight back into the action. The next race coming up very soon. You can already see them starting to foil, starting to speed up. And where is their timings? Are they managing to get it correct? We are now straight back over to the women for their next heat of race number 14 or 15 coming up now. And they're accelerating and they have crossed the line. There is that start. They're just gone onto the other side of the screen. And what a shot this is. Emma Milend, Estonia 127 out of the pack there. Oh, Danae just having a little bit of a touchdown there. Just losing a bit of speed because it is so tight within here. Emma Milend, Jenny Roberts in there, Natasha Lapper, all having great starts and showing that they have the speed down that bottom end. Netherlands 33 of Sarah Venekers, New Zealand 15 is in there as well. Oh, it is again so close between these riders at that top end. It's windy. It is cranking. Netherlands, New Zealand 15, Amy Bright in there as well. But it is Estonia 127, Emma Milend, who rounds in that first place straight on their jibe. Yet again to try stick in that wind. Oh, Sarah just dropping off the foil slightly. Oh, it's tough, it's tough. It's windy at the start, but as they make their way down the course, oh, one of those riders just sending it round the front, unfortunately having a bit of a wipeout, but she is straight back up on the board. Hopefully she will be falling in no time. But there is our race leader so far. Estonia 127 making her way out onto the right side of the course, trying to search for that wind, search for that speed, and search for that power. France 31 in amongst of it here, certainly within that top three at the minute of Lola Sorin. She's certainly furthest on this left side of the course. Could she have the speed? You know, usually we're thinking there's more wind on the right side of the course. She's decided to go for a slightly different line compared to the rest. Lola Sorin, France 31. Where are our leaders? It's looking like Emma still has a good position within this race. Pilar coming down as well. Amy Bright, New Zealand. New Zealand 15 has now taken the lead from the rest of those riders. She had a great downwind. She's got that pink helmet. She's got the glasses on. She's got a really cool design of her wetsuit as well. And she's got a really cool technique as she cranks out on this penultimate reach. The sail is really flat. She's really cranked on her outhaul here, trying to make her sail as aerodynamic and as fast as possible. She's got a little bit of a lead, probably 2 seconds, 1 or 2 seconds or so. You know, maybe 10 meters, something like that. So she is not safe at the minute. Not safe at all. So she will need to be making sure that she keeps her mind in the zone, keeps her concentration, and she keeps her concentration indeed. Completing her final jibe, completing her speed, and completing her performance here in this final race. Not much separating her between this finish and this win. You know, she's holding it all the way to the finish. A previous race winner, we have Daniela Peleg in hot pursuit though. She's pushing it. She is going for it. There is no stopping. There is no relaxing because each and every one of these riders, whether you're at the front, whether you're at the back, is pushing to the max. And it is Amy Bright who takes the win in that race, closely followed by Daniela Peleg and Emma Milend from Estonia. Oh, it's so close. This is awesome racing out here. So remember to share this link all around. Share this live stream. Share this pure adrenaline show to all your friends, all your windsurfing lovers to see the action exactly as it happens. Amy Bright taking the win in that race. Daniela Peleg in second. Emma in third. Tamar and Pilar finishing off the top five. And we are getting straight back into yet another race here in day number 5 for the iQFOiL European Championships in Portimao, Portugal, down that bottom end. Italy 239, Carola Colasanto having a corker of a start there, hitting it at full speed and probably at that 0-0. She is holding on. Norway 29 in amongst of it there as well, just out the back. Linda in there, Poland 230 in amongst of it. All this is yet again so close between each and every one of these riders. The speed is on up that top end. We can just make out that is Isla Watson, China 37 in amongst of it there, but it is Carola down that bottom end who certainly has some awesome speed. Maya, Poland 230, I think has taken the lead. There's early lead within this race so far though. China 37 also in amongst of it there of Zheng Yan, having a good competition so far, and will she be able to hold it all the way to the finish? We'll have to find out very soon. They're all jibing off, trying to search for that wind, letting off their outhaul and jibing round to find that wind. There is our battle for first, second, and also third. Carola, Maya, and Linda out the back there as well. Italy 4, if I remember correctly. Yes, it is indeed. Maya is having a good race so far, though, catching those waves. Now, this is one thing that we were explaining before that we saw. You know, there is a fair amount of waves out there. There's some big swell coming through, and that's something that these riders have to think about. They need to maintain their flight. They need to maintain their height on the foils. But also they can use the power of these waves. Big moment coming in here. Linda Oprandi. And Linda certainly had the right of way there as she was on starboard. Maybe we will be seeing a little bit of a protest on there. Carola Colasanto going in to her jibe as well. She is pumping hard, but it's looking like that left side of the course might have paid in this. Well, the first time this left side has probably paid so far today, because the French rider has certainly just snatched the lead. Helene Noesmoen had a good day yesterday, a bit of good, but also bad. But it is New Zealand 1 who has jibed straight into it and snatched the lead yet again. V10 Harvard, the lead is all changing around at the minute. You know, people were pushing. You know, they're trying to get those leads, but it is V. You know, she came into from the right side of the course. Maybe she saw that there was some more gusts coming through. But now, you know, she managed to do it. She managed to take it, but it is still up for the takings. Helene Noesmoen just behind her in third place. We do have Isla Watson, I think. Yes, GBR 20, Isla Watson in there. So how's the jibe from V? She jibed right on the top of a wave, doing it perfectly, and she foils all the way out of it. But Helene is putting in some pumps. She is going for it. She is pushing V to the max. There's no relaxing for V. She needs to push it all the way towards that finish. Direct all that power. Use the power of the wind from being caught in that sail, holding it in her body and transforming all that power into speed in through that foil. We're windsurfing, we are foiling, and this is epic. V going towards the line in first place. Helene Noesmoen in second, closely followed by Isla in third. Zheng Yan in fourth. Manon in fifth, and Adi Milo in sixth place. And there is our leaderboard from that previous race just then. It is V10 Harvey from New Zealand taking the win within that race. She came in from the right side. I don't know how far she would have went on that right side, but certainly more right than others, I think. Or maybe she had a little double jibe at the bottom. But whatever she did, it was correct as she managed to come out with the win. And we're straight back into the racing for the men, the senior men coming up now. It is game on. The power is on and the speed is on. Where is that start line? And they have started down that bottom end. It is Luke Van Opsieland, but in the middle there, it is Finn Hawkins, GBR 19, showing that he has the speed. He has what it takes to be right up at the top. Last year, in the European Championships, he did come second, if I remember correctly, and he is treading it all the way towards that first mark at the minute. He's still pumping, he is speeding, it looks like he is rolling over the top of Luke Van Opsieland here. He's got the speed. Will he be able to hold it all the way towards that towards that downwind? He's got it. He's pumping. He's putting in a really powerful jibe straight away. A little bit later than Luke Van Opsieland there. Igor Lewinsky also having a good start at that top. Now Finn Hawkins, all he will be needing to do is just try and make sure our event leader Luke Van Opsieland stays behind him. This is our battle for our first and second places here at the minute. Oh, it's still looking very close. Finn has definitely gone for a little bit of a lower line down here. Luke deciding to jibe there now. Our third place last year, putting in his jibe. Third place at the European Championships last year. Indeed, he was. Just double check that and it was correct. Finn Hawkins going through. This is the battle for our top three. Kieran Badlow has taken the lead here now, though. But look at Finn. He is pumping. Kieran's certainly got a... He's got a good wave there at the minute. I think they have all maybe underlaid it just a little bit as they're all... There is that mark. Will Finn be able to make it, or will he have to do a double jibe? We'll have to see. But it is Tom Ruveny who comes through yet again and takes that lead. Kieran Badlow is holding on to that... Oh, I was going to say second then, but they are absolutely neck and neck, almost touching there. Kieran Badlow is pushing it to the max. First and second on our screens at the minute. It is absolutely neck and neck. Not much separating each other at all at the minute. Tom Ruveny probably does have the upper hand, having that lower line into this last jibing mark. How will the jibes be? Will there be any room for Kieran to come through? He's done it pretty wide. A little bit of a touchdown there from Tom Ruveny. This is the moment. This is the chance for Kieran Badlow to pump, to get that lead straight again. But no, Tom Ruveny pumps straight back up on the foil, and he really puts the power down there now. Wow, I mean, he nearly lost it from that touchdown there. He lost a lot of speed, but no, I mean, still, he put the power down, but Kieran is still coming. He's gone for that lower line now, but he is in that dirty wind, that used wind of Tom Ruveny now. Tom Ruveny, yet again, taking a win. Our 2024 Olympic champion takes a win. Kieran Badlow, the 2020 Olympic champion, in second. Third place at the European Championships last year. Finn Hawkins takes third place here. Noah Lyons in fourth. Luke in fifth. Min Hei Yang in sixth. Eli Lifting, who won one of the previous races, in eighth. And Louis and Igor finishing off that top 10. We're straight back into the action. There is no dawdling around at all because the game is on, the racing is on, and we have just completed yet another race here on day number 5 with Tom Ruveny winning. Oh, the wind is still blowing up the top here, which is epic to see. We have the wind blowing, we have the sun shining. We have a lot of guns out as well. You know, a lot of people just in shorts and their arms out because it's hot. They are working so hard in these slalom races. You know, at the top, keeping their mental side on, keeping their power down, making sure that they don't crash and hitting that start line at 0-0 with full speed, and as they may make their way down the course, it does lighten off at the minute, so they need to put their head in the game, and there is that start down that bottom end. Yet again, Matthias Isaac, he really likes that bottom end. Australia 3 in amongst of it too. He's having a good one. He's having an absolute insane one. Rory Meehan yet again having a good start and holding his speed, holding his power. Up that top end we have Hong Kong 33 having a great start there as well. But down that bottom end it is Matthias Isaac. They're all starting to put in some pumps now. Maybe the wind is slightly on this top race, just easing off a little bit. France 9-6-5 in amongst of it there as well, of Com Joly having a good start. Who will be rounding this top mark in first place? I couldn't call it. There's about 4 or 5 riders there all rounding at the same time. It is so close. The speeds are so similar, and now it is all down to the tactical decisions that will make the difference. Very different racing from the start of the day to now, actually. At the start, we saw everyone jibing off pretty much immediately because everyone thinks that there's a bit more wind out closer to the beach. But now, as we're witnessing here, Hong Kong 33 and France 9-6-5, they're going a lot further onto the right, aren't they? So. And this is one thing that we've seen in previous races as well, that actually riders who have gone out onto the right side of the course have come pretty high up in the rankings. You know, they've almost come out of nowhere. So let's keep our eyes peeled on Com Joly and Hong Kong 33 to see who comes out on top. And it is the 2 riders who went onto that right side of the course who have come out on top yet again. It's looking like this right side of the course is certainly paying. France 9-6-5 Com Joly and Hong Kong 33 of Ling Yuan Ao. First place, second place, third place is struggling just a little bit behind is Go Gray Morris wearing that blue bib, but all focus now is on France 9-6-5. Com Joly in the lead at the minute. He's got that face of concentration again. He had a little look back and a little bit of a touchdown. Luckily, he was straight back up on that foil, maintaining his control. How's the final jibe? He just needs to say safe yet again. Safe jibe from our first place, safe jibe from our second place, and it is looking like he is pushing. Hong Kong 33 is really pushing all the way to the very end, whether he's attacking, whether he's defending, or a bit of both. Okay, it's looking like Hong Kong 33 certainly has some speed down here. It's going to be looking a lot closer than we thought it was going to be at that finish line. France 9-6-5, Hong Kong 33 holding it all the way to the finish. Com Joly is holding his fist. He takes the win here in day number 5 of the 2026 European Championships. Gray Morris in that third place. Israel 24 in fourth place. You have Matthias Isaac, Clement Bourgeois, Philip Cripsey, Manolo, Rory and Matt. Rory had yet again another great start though, didn't he? Really, really good start. And that allowed him to, place pretty high. But it was Com Joly who came through on that right side, made the best decision, and came out on top, along with Ling Yuan Ao, who placed pretty high as well. We're going to be getting into the next slalom race almost immediately. And we're straight back in to the next heat here on day number 5 of the 2026 iQFOiL European Championships here in Portimao, Portugal. And we have some amazing conditions for all of you to watch, to witness, to see the action. And we are straight into our next heat for the men, the men's gold group coming up pretty soon, almost now. When is the start? Probably 5 seconds to go or so. Acceleration is on, speed is on, and we are in the game. Andy Brown down that bottom end, our 25 world champion. Johan So also in amongst of it there. Jarvit up that top end, but all of them starting to sheet out as we had a general recall. Replay of that general recall. Who was over that start? It's looking like possibly we've got 2 in the middle in their in a tricky position. Really hard to tell. Really hard to tell. But what we can tell for sure is that they are all pushing. Java in the middle there. Maybe Reese's in the middle there. You know. But they are, oh yeah, I mean, it's impossible to tell from this angle, but we certainly had a few poking out. Maybe down at that bottom end, we had a couple poking out as well. But it's general recall, so whoever was over that start line will then be recalled. They will be disqualified, and we will get underway with the next start. So do not go anywhere. We'll be back with you very, very shortly. Let's have a look at a highlight from the previous race that we just witnessed. And there we have it, a great start. God. All riders absolutely shredding on this line. Mateus Isaac down that bottom end. It was Com, Jolie and Hong Kong 33. Look how far they went out onto the left side of the course. Maybe they saw something that the others didn't. And they managed to hold that lead all the way towards that finish. Comme Jolie and France. Comme Jolie of France 965 and Hong Kong 33. All the way towards that finish. There was that little push from Hong Kong 33 just to go towards that finish. He certainly gained some ground, but wasn't quite enough towards that finish. So 1 and 2 finishing with less than a second between themselves. Gray Morris in 3rd, and the rest following now. General recall, so several minutes until the start will be rerun. Do not go anywhere. Warning signal is on as we are now inside the last 3 minutes before the next start is on. So the riders are all starting to prepare, starting to get their pre-start routine in place to try and hit that start line exactly on the go with no distance to room, with full speed towards that line. Few minutes to go. And we are back on. The racing is just about to start. We're in the last 10 seconds or so before this next start. The riders are starting to speed up, starting to accelerate in this strong wind. I mean, up here we probably have around 15, 20 knots or so. Whoa, that was full speed right towards it. Johan So down that bottom end, having an insane start, really cranking away. That was fast. Pavel Tarnowski, I mean, just look at the speed and look how close they all are. This is extreme. This is windsurfing, and this is iQFOiL. This is insane. Johan So out the lead here at the minute, closely followed by France 152. Tom Arnoux having a great race so far, great start, and he is holding that speed all the way towards that finish line. Third is hotly contested though. Ethan Westerer, Andy Brown, Pavel Tarnowski, Freddie Pelodi. I mean, there's so many names here. France 7 just squeezing in there. Couldn't be out the back there too. Johan So, our current race leader, deciding to jibe off pretty fast there though. Ethan Westerer and Pavel Tarnowski. There we have it. And Tom Arnoux, you know, I think these riders are starting to analyse the course maybe slightly differently from what they did at the start of the day, maybe from watching races, maybe from watching leaders going out onto the right side. And more often than not, they've actually managed to stay on top. So, Ethan Westerer here, Tom Arnoux here, deciding to go out onto the right. Will they be able to hold it? Got a bird pretty close. Just then, Pavel Tarnowski, there is our possible leaders at the minute. Andy Brown is certainly coming in amongst of it too here. Johan So, Denmark, 37 in that red bib. He came into today in third place overall for the men. Will he be able to hold that third place overall? I mean, certainly. Oh, holy moly, that was close. Holy moly indeed, and that is Johan So still managing to thread the needle through that gap of Tom Arnoux. That's exactly what we're talking about. You know, there cannot be a single gap possible because everyone goes for that, as we saw Johan So do perfectly there, and that allows him to stay in the lead. Andy Brown is right on his heels though. It's all down to this jibe, and how is it looking? Johan So really going right tight. Tom Arnoux is right in that second. That is going to be the exciting battle. Second at third place. There we go. Tom Arnoux deciding to go for that earlier line. Andy Brown goes for that top line. It's a bit like deja vu. We've seen this before earlier on last year in the World Championships. We saw a huge battle between Andy Brown and Tom Arnoux. Who is going to make it out on top at this time? It was Andy Brown last time. Will it be Tom Arnoux this time? But out in the lead, it is Johan So, literally seconds separating all top 10 people out here. It is Johan So with the lead. It is possibly Tom Arnoux in that second place according to the rankings, or maybe it was Andy Brown that's just changed over. But look, I mean, it's literally been 5 seconds and we've had 10 riders just cross the line. Oh God, look at that. So close between them. Absolute drag race towards that finish. And there we have the top 5 from that race that we just saw. It is Johan So who took the lead. He's got some incredible speed out here in Portimao. He's doing so well and adding another win to his name. We will be getting underway with the next start very, very soon, though. Very, very soon indeed. So do not go anywhere. And we are straight back on with the women's gold group heat A coming up on our screens at the minute. And there is that start. Medea Falcione is really pushing it these days in this competition. Always going for that pin and always hitting it really, really well as she's down that bottom end and still holding her speed and holding her position. But up at that, on the right side of the screens, our current probably leaders within this top reach is China, 37. And also Estonia, 127. That is Zheng Yan and Emma Milend. Oh, it's pretty windy up here. These conditions are so awesome. They are speeding out, probably close to 30 knots of board speed out here. Absolutely cranking. And not only are they pushing it all together, it is not much separating each and every one of these riders. Daniela Peleg has gone for that deeper line from that initial pumping to try and establish her lane. She's gone for it, and it's looking like she definitely had a good move there. It's going to be interesting to see where Emma and Daniela fare on that other side of the course. Zheng Yan putting in her jibe there. Wow, I mean, a big difference, a very big difference to what we were seeing earlier on in the racing, where we saw everyone jibe off almost instantly. But now, a lot of these riders deciding to go a lot further onto the right side of the course. Now, in the sprint slalom, we have these three reaches, you know, that top reach where everyone is just pushing it so close together. Then we have those two final reaches, those drag races toward the finish. But on the midpoint of the race, what we are witnessing here is the downwind. So similar to the upwind, these riders need to go diagonally to the wind because that is the fastest point of sail on these routes. And because they can go diagonally, they can decide what angle they take, what angle speed they take, and what route they take down the course, which we were thinking about, some going on the right and some going on the left. Now, Daniela Peleg, our current leader on our screens here at the minute, decided to go on the right side, decided to jibe off pretty fast. So I think we can see that it's pretty even at the minute, because in previous races we saw that the left paid, in other races we saw that the right paid. So either it's even now, or either it's changing. And that's one thing that all these riders have to be, is so adaptable. In every situation, big battle for this second place here. Zheng Yan is just closing the door from Emma Millen. Definitely left a little bit of room for Emma to hopefully push for, and she certainly is pushing for it. She is pushing all the way to the finish, putting in big pumps. Oh, a bit of a crash at that jibe mark there. Hopefully they are okay. Israel 2 is still in that lead though at the minute. Daniela Peleg just sending it all the way to that finish. Daniela Peleg is doing incredibly. You know, last year at the Senior World Championships, she came 5th. Top 5 currently in the world, and in the under 23s last year. I don't think she did it here actually last year, but in the little bit of a crash on that finish line. Hopefully she crossed before she had that wipeout. I really hope she's okay there. Didn't look too extreme. So, you know, a lot of these riders have many a wipeouts, but probably she's just having a rest there because she's been working so hard throughout this race, as each and every one of those riders have. So it is Daniela Peleg who took the win in that race there, closely followed by Zheng Yan, Emma Victoria Milend in there as well, Tamar Steinberg and Stella Bilger. We're straight into this next race. There is no waiting. There is no dawdling around. It is race after race. It is speed after speed, as we are seeing here in Portimao. Portugal for the day 5, the last day before the medal races tomorrow of the 2026 European Championships. It's so close yet again at that pin. A lot of them just holding off a little bit, but it is again Carola Colasanto down that bottom end. Italy 2-3-9, hitting that start line so well and going for that pin for the win, but it is so close between these three here, these four. Pilar Madrid, Isla Watson in there, France 11 in there. It is all so close of Marion Couturier. New Zealand 15 also in amongst of it there of Amy Bright. It is so close between all four of these riders towards this first mark, along with Carola Colasanta. She's got probably the upper hand here as she has that deeper line. The others need to make room for her as there's some overlaps within these girls here at the minute. Oh, it's so close, leaving no room at all. We saw Carola do there. Isla Watson is leading by a hair's length there, though. A little bit of a synchronized jibe from Isla and Carola there, who will be making it out on top. I need a little bit of water. Isla Watson, GBR 2-0, pumping it out on this downwind. Just to the right there, that is Tuva Oppedal, Norway 29, having a pretty good race. She had a good start, actually, at the top there. Another Norway runner can't quite make out the number, possibly Hella. Her sister, Pilar Lamadrid, putting in some huge stints of pumps. I think just trying to make it back up on top of that wave, overtake that wave so she can get the glide from that wave to push her further downwind and hopefully give her a little bit of speed. GBR 2-0 is putting in her jibe there now. Will she be able to make it? Still in the lead at that top mark. It's looking pretty close indeed. But still, she is cruising, absolutely cranking towards this bottom mark. Manon Pianazza in that big fighting maneuver there from Pilar Lamadrid. She jibed on the top of that wave. Will she be able to make it down on that ley line? And it is Amy Bright with the style coming through in that second place, and Isla Watson with the pink helmet. Now we can see both facial expressions we're that close. Isla Watson is still in that concentration zone. She's almost smiling a little bit because she's loving it so much on this bottom reach. She is in the lead. She is in that winning position for the race at the minute. Will she be able to hold it all the way towards the finish? We can see she is really putting all her weight inside of that harness line. We can see those loops coming off the handle of the sail, what's called the boom. And she jibes right on a nice big bit of swell to boost her through, keep her glide and keep her speed. Now she's definitely gained a little bit from that second place of Amy Bright there, so Isla Watson will just be trying to keep it smooth, keep it safe and keep her confidence up as she goes towards line. A little bit of a crank on from the out haul there, just flattening off the sail a little bit more to make it more aerodynamic, as she doesn't need the speed on this reaching. On the reaches, they flatten it off. On the downwinds, they deepen it out because they just want all the power to send them downwind as possible. Isla Watson going towards the line. I did see a smile on her face there. She should be happy, and she is happy as she takes the win there within that race. Amy Bright in second, a close third with Pilar Lamadrid. Manon Pianazza, Tuva in there as well. Marta Majetti has come back a lot. Carola Colasanta, Adi Miller, Jenny Roberts, I think, is in there as well. Yeah, from the... Can see the leaderboard there as well. Maya Gisler and Mariana finishing off that top 10. And there we have it, the top 5 from that race that we just witnessed. A masterclass from Isla Watson picking up that win. In second place, it was Amy Bright, followed by Pilar Lamadrid, Manon in there, finishing off that top 4, and the rest in that top 5. And there we have it back up to the top of the start. We have a lot of these, a lot of the safety boats, the coaches and stuff. They're all moving around, so it'll be interesting to see what the reason of that is. Maybe. So let's have a look at the highlights of that previous race that we just saw. It was a very condensed start. A super condensed start at that first little bit, but it was Isla Watson, along with Carola Colasands, Amy Bright in there, Marion Couturier, all of them absolutely neck and neck at that top mark. But it was Isla Watson and Amy Bright who managed to gain a little bit from the rest of the pack there, though, and hold it all the way towards that final reaching mark. And here it was Isla Watson staying cool, staying safe, and staying fast, holding it all the way to the line where she wins that race. So we'll be getting underway with the next race very, very soon. Only minutes between that race. So if you have been enjoying this, make sure you share this link all around. Share all your with all your windsurfing mates. Share with all the fans of all these riders here. I've certainly been enjoying this. The racing so far has just been exhilarating. Windy downwind slant, and it's been great because the conditions have been pretty sketchy. You know, it hasn't been super consistent. You know, it's been quite gusty. The wind has changed throughout the course, and it's been windy at some points. It's been pretty light at other points, which has made for some very exciting racing for all these athletes, and for us watching in to see their performance. You know, this is the European Championships, one of the most important competitions of their year, one of the most important competitions of their whole Olympic cycle towards that 28 Olympic Games. You know, everything makes a difference, whether it's just to complete some goals here of, for example, getting on the start line, having a good start, or whether it's to win the whole competition. Each and every one of these riders have specific goals that they are all working on. So it's really a privilege to watch all these athletes perform, try to get these goals. You know, every one of these athletes will be working so hard. They've put in a whole story plan in place to make this event exactly what they are hoping for. Now, you know, execution is always slightly different to the you know, they're two different things. You can make everything perfect. You can have the perfect situation. But execution, you know, that can sometimes be slightly different. For sure, some will be achieving all their goals. Some will not be able to quite meet those goals. But then that's the time to go back, reset, refresh, and work on the next competition. But here we are in Portimao, Portugal, in this, it really is an epic location. We've got awesome tents. That's the tents where all the equipment is being stored these days at this competition. Not only at this competition, but also the weeks leading up to this competition. The organisation of this event has just been incredible, and the conditions are being delivered. Not only the sun, not only the wind, but also some waves out here, which we're seeing some surfers take advantage of. And we are just taking advantage of the wind out on the water now. So we will be getting underway with racing again very, very shortly. So do not go anywhere, and I will see you very soon. And we are back in the game. If you have just joined in, hello and welcome to the 2026 iQFOiL European Championships. It's day number 5, so the pressure is on. The battle is for the medal races. Tomorrow the top 10 go through, so the pressure is on. I'm Rafty Reed and I'm bringing you here on the action. I'm going to be commentating here for this live stream, the live show of this racing exactly as it happens. Already we've had a pretty epic day. It started quite slowly actually. We had a little bit of waiting on shore until the wind came through for some suitable conditions, and suitable conditions we certainly have. We've already completed a fair few slalom races, which were absolutely exhilarating. It was windy slalom, it was pretty tough conditions out there, and we saw some insane action. But now we have moved on to the course racing, and we are underway. There is the start. Oh, Tom Arnoux, and I think that was Nicola Renner just having 2 double wipeouts there. It's action on. I really hope they are okay. It didn't look too extreme, so it's all right. But it is straight back into this action down that on the left side of our screens. We certainly have some leaders. It's looking like Stas. It's looking like France can't quite make out the number. 3 number British. I think that is Matt Barton and Andy Brown, I think, up the top there as well. It is Noah Lyons, USA 1, if I can see correctly. Yes, USA 6 in that one place. He's doing well. He's doing very well indeed. Matt Barton, GBR 583. It's 98. Yes, it is 983. It is Matt Barton. And Andy Brown also on our screens at the minute. But a big collision at that start there. I hope Tom Arnoux, I think it, I'm not 100%, I couldn't quite make out the number on the Italian rider, but I'm pretty sure it was France 152 and Italy at the start, because they are really sending it, and not much distance is separating each and every one of these riders. It looks like we are going for a windward-leeward course again, I think, as they're all racing quite close to that shore, very close to that shore. We can see all those spectators on the beach, you know, maybe doing a bit of sunbathing. No, that's secondary to their priorities now, as they have got a show in front of them exactly off the waters from their beach. And also you guys watching in has also got a show. I'm really enjoying this show that these athletes are putting on for us. A real insane performance from each and every one of these riders. This is the 2026 iQFOiL European Championships here in Portimão, Portugal. And this place is simply amazing. The sun is shining, the wind is blowing, it's 25 degrees around that. It is absolutely dreamy. And let's have a look at that start where we saw a bit of a collision down at that pin end. And there is that replay. So it is Italy 830 actually jibed out. So it was Nicola Renner and Tom Arnoux. So I think Tom Arnoux, let's see what makes him send it round the front. So I think he might have maybe hit something in the water there and just stops dead, meaning that he kept going, but his equipment stopped. So there was a crash there, and unfortunately, Nicola Renner was in that firing line just behind there. Maybe he hit whatever Tom Arnoux hit in the water as well, but they were so close to that pin end, like literally centimeters, less than a meter separating them there. It was really, it was pretty close. So it sounds like what France 152 was over that start line. Tom Arnoux having a bit of a tough one there as we're going over to Andy Brown. How is his tack? A fully planing tack, losing almost no speed whatsoever. He's straight back up on that foil and pumping hard. Maybe hasn't quite had the first upwind he was hoping for there. But you know, anything can change. It's still looking like, you know, earlier on in the day when we were running those slalom races, if you missed those slalom races, do make sure you head back, rewind the replay to see those exhilarating slalom races once we have a little bit of a moment here. But now the course racing is on. But yeah, as we said, in those slalom races at the start, we saw that a lot of those riders were coming so close towards that top mark together, but all deciding to jibe off straight away. Now, I think that is because they all thought there was a little bit of wind closer to that right side of the course, closer to the beach, which looks correct. And there is that top mark, Stas Strepczynski from Poland, 777, having an insane race so far, rounding that top mark in first or second place. Nicholas Goyard right up the top as well. Finn Hawkins in that top three, and I think they're making their way out on to that next mark now. I think they could be reaching, where is that mark? Yeah, there we go. It is our leaders on our screens at the minute. It's France 465 of Nicholas Goyard and Stas Strepczynski in that second place. Stas having an insane race so far. So far in the competition, Stas is coming in. Let's have a look. Poland 777. He came in today in 28th place overall. So now in second place within this Gold Fleet men. This is the top half, the top 50% of all the riders within this men's group within this competition are racing it out here. So currently, you know, you could maybe say Stas is second in the world, you know, in this specific, in Europe, sorry. Oh, God. Federico Poloni really went for that foiling tack, not quite being able to stick it, almost like going off the front because he was spoiling so fast. Now, Freddie, in previous competitions, I think it was, it was in Sarapita last year, the youth worlds, if I remember correctly. He showed us how to do a foiling tack absolutely perfectly. Like, right on camera, right where we were all watching, just the perfect show. So, unfortunately, he didn't quite manage to stick that foiling tack there. However, you know, he's certainly got it in the locker. He's certainly got it in the locker. Dare I say it, maybe one of the best foiling tackers. Not in that situation, of course, but certainly got it in the locker, as all the rest of these riders within this European Championships all have that foiling tack in the locker that they can bring out when they want. However, in these tough conditions, you can see really in this shot here how wavy it is. There's a lot of big swell coming down. And that means that it makes those maneuvers a bit harder, because in that point where they're moving their bodies, they're moving the sails, that power also changes. So to maintain that lift, to maintain that power on the foil is really, really hard indeed. But so far, they're making their jibes all really perfectly, all deciding to go out onto the left side of the course. Leonardo Tomasini, Finn Hawkins, Stas Strepczynski, Nicholas Goyard in that top 4 or 5. Makani Andrews back inside of that top 5 as well. Matthias Isaac, Tom Ruveny, Makani having some really good slalom races earlier this morning. So if you haven't seen those slalom races after you've finished watching these course races, do make sure you go and replay those starts and those slalom races, because they were just insane. Almost as insane, well, just as insane, maybe more insane than our course racing here at the minute. We do different courses in the iQFOiling. So this morning we were doing the downwind slalom, and that course we usually run when it's either slightly lighter winds or conditions that are a bit all over the place, a bit inconsistent, because with that slalom course there's no tack in there, meaning that these foilers can usually foil throughout. You know, attack is the point where these riders drop off the foil before anything else. But jibes, they can make it all around. So this morning when the wind was a bit inconsistent, a bit tricky out there, a bit tough, we ran those slalom races. But now the wind has definitely evened out a bit. It's become a little bit more consistent. The wind has evened out a little bit further on the course over there where we're racing at the minute, and that has allowed us to go for course racing, which is upwinds and downwinds followed by a final reach at the end. We're doing a simple windward-leeward course here. On our screens at the minute we have current, could you call it race leader? He's currently in the top 3 at the minute. Where is this cross? Is he going to go for it compared to Stat and Leonardo? He's certainly made it. Only just, probably, you know, maybe a second or so separating them. And remember, when he tacked there, he didn't have that right of way because he was on port. He had his left hand forward. Going on to Gray Morris. Go Gray Morris is wearing that blue bib. He did come into today in second place overall. Will he be able to keep that top 3? I haven't quite remembering to see him too far, really far up the rankings, let's say, in those first slalom races. I'm sure he would have done super well. Hopefully he'll be wanting to place super well in these course races as well. Of course he'll want to be placing. Let's hope he does be able to make it, though, as he is in that third place, fourth place at the minute. Nicholas Goyard going in for his next hack. A little bit of a touchdown in the midpoint there, but he's managing to stay right up on that foil, keeping his speed and keeping his glide. These riders are all putting in a fair few tacks out here on this course at the minute. And that shows, you know, these riders aren't just banking to one side. They aren't just putting all their eggs into one basket and sending it on to one side. They're reading the wind, analysing the shifts, analysing where the wind is stronger throughout the course, and they are making sure that they are in exactly the right position at the right time. Now, in a lot of situations, that's impossible. You know, you can't always be at the right place at the right time. But the key is to make sure you are more times in the right place than more times in the incorrect place, let's say. And someone who's showing us exactly how to be at the right place and defend well is Nicholas Goyard, who is on our screens at the minute at the top. Top 3 is all mixing around a little bit, though. Okay, it's certainly not Nicholas Goyard, actually. Leonardo Tomasini, a corker of a next upwind. Nicholas Goyard coming in there. There is that shot. It was super close, but it is Leonardo Tomasini who's taken the lead. France 465 in that second place now. Nicholas Goyard, and in third, it is Stanislav Stas in that second place overall at the minute, but very close between that second and third. Stas managing to hold it the whole way round. Gray Morris coming through now. USA 1 of Makani Andrews also up inside of that top 10 within this gold group. Now remember, we are on course racing at the minute, so all of the gold group are racing together within this group. So you're against the top 50% within this whole of this competition. Top 1% though, top, well, 117 men within this race, so it's top 1 point something percent is Leonardo Tomasini. He's right at the top, showing us that he is one of the best in Europe and the best in the world. Again, a multiple international podium winner is Leonardo Tomasini. He dominated with his teammate Federico in the youth. He's dominated on the under-23s, and he is now dominating within this senior race within this European Championships at the 2025. the 2025 under 23s. Let's have a look where he came. I'm sure he was right near the top. He was doing extremely well, and now he is doing extremely well yet again within this group, within this men's golf fleet, cruising it out on this upwind, constantly tuning that sail, constantly getting his flight up on the board, on that foil, making sure that he is in the best position as physically possible to ensure that he can defend, hopefully defend all the way towards that finish line. Will he be able to take it? We will see very soon as he makes his way towards that bottom gate. How will it go? He's having a little look behind him. He's having a little pump just to make sure he defends his lead. He defends that first place as he makes his way on to that final reach. In the under 23 World Championships last year here in Portimao, he did place third. He was on that podium for the under-23s last year, so he has the experience of this location. But also, he has what it takes to not only be at the top of the world for the under-23s, he also has what it takes to be at the top of the world for the seniors here in 2026. Leonardo Tomasini going towards that finish line in first place. He came into today in 9th place overall, so he's on that cutoff of that top 10, making it inside of that medal races tomorrow, and now completing this first course race today with a win will for sure boost him up in the rankings. Nicholas Goyard in that second place, and Stas having a really good race, picking up a third within this course race. You know, and then Gray Morris in there. Finn Hawkins having a really good race in there as well. Finn didn't quite have the race he was hoping for. Didn't quite have the day he was hoping for yesterday. He just, I think he came into yesterday in 4th, came into today in 12th, but now he is right back up there, picking up a 3rd, and then picking up a 4th, and boosting himself up the rankings, hopefully. But it is Leonardo Tomasini in that first place, Nicholas Goyard in 2nd, and Stas picking up a 3rd place. What a race from those top 3, and we are going straight back into the next race coming up for the Gold Women, coming up very, very soon. The same course will be run, the Windward-Leeward course, followed by that final reach at the end. 2 laps of the upwinds and downwinds. Very, very tactical racing out here, all about that speed, all about making the correct decisions up through the course, that technique of riding over those waves, tuning that equipment, getting the absolute max possible out of it with speed, and then putting your head in the right game to make sure you do the shortest course possible and stay in the most wind possible to have the most power in your engine. And we are coming up very soon. Not many riders are foiling at the minute, but they are just getting prepared for the next race to come, getting their minds into it, and we will be coming up very soon. There is the black flag. We are in 2 minutes to go. 2 minutes to go until the next start for this men's fleet coming up soon. On the left of our screens, I can see that yellow bib of Tamar Steinberg and there we go. Highlights, big situation at that start. A big wipeout from them both there, both Nicolo and Tom Arnoux, 2 top players within this race, out of it straight away. And it is Nicholas Goyard who took that early lead within the race. It was so close at that top. You know, some of these riders rounding, you know, not even centimetres separating them. Some of these riders rounding exactly at the same time. And they had to maintain it right down at that bottom gate. It was Nicholas Goyard still leading, followed by Stas Straczynski. Third place was Leonardo Tomasini. Now, we did follow Nicolas Goyard up on the right side of the course. And as soon as we saw the upward mark, it was Leonardo Tomasini, Italy 155, who came out of nowhere. He went on the right side of the course, and it certainly paid, as that allowed him to take that lead on that final kind of third of the race. And he held that lead all the way to the finish, pumping out onto the foil, all the way towards that finish, on that reach, cool as a cucumber, crossing the finish line and jibing to make his way back to his next race towards the finish line. And we are no dawdling around, no waiting, because we have the next race. Well, we are actually going on to a little bit of a wait now, as we just had the start there. But I can see AP flag is up on the boat, and we have the banner on there. That is the triangular flag, the red and white. We have a lot of those riders having a good start down that bottom end, but I don't think they have quite realised that there is a little bit of postponement. Maybe some of them have, maybe some of them are just doing a bit of a practice start, getting ready for their start to come. But we are under a bit of a postponement, as we see all the coaches in their power boats just racing up to their riders, just to tell them that we are under some postponement. Now, this is a good shot here to really represent the start line out here. That boat with the flag on, with that orange flag, and the RC stands for Race Committee. That is the pin end. So that is one side of the start line. That line goes all the way, imaginary line, from that boat all the way to that big white boat in the background. You can see the furthest back white boat. That is the other end of the start. Now draw a imaginary line between those, and there you have it. That's your start line. That is what all these riders are trying to cross full speed in the best position at the gun. So you can imagine it is very hard. One of the most important parts of iQFOiling, of windsurfing, and sailing as a whole. Any sailing kind of racing is a huge point in the start. So let's have a replay of the previous race to watch that start to see what it looks like at the 0-0. Oh, so there is some of those starts from this morning. So a little glimpse of what we had this morning. If you missed it, do make sure you look back. Just rewind the replays, rewind the live stream to see exactly all of this live as it happened. It was windy. It was a windy top reach, windy slalom. Oh, a bit of a crash there. We just saw. Hopefully they're okay. China 37 had a very good day, very good morning of racing it out, leading some races. Emma Milend, this was that battle for that first and second place. Emma, Victoria Milend, Estonia was really pushing it out, trying to get it. Didn't quite get it at the end. I think it was the Chinese rider who got it at the end. Israel 2 had a win as well. Daniela Peleg in there. There was that finish of Estonia and China. There we had it, you know. This is oh, there was that crash on that finish line, just touching down, increasing her drag dramatically. She kept moving, but the equipment stopped, and that's how some of these crashes and wipeouts happen. Now, luckily, it's everyone's okay today. You know, it is an extreme sport. At the end of the day, the adrenaline is high, the speed is high. And, you know, when you add so many riders together, all fighting as hard as they can, you know, they might be friends on the water, friends on land, but they might be enemies on water, because everyone is trying to beat each other. Whether it is being your best friend for many years, or whether, you know, you're possibly enemies on land as well, you know. Everyone is trying to beat each other, no matter what it is. So everyone is pushing for the gaps, pushing as hard as they can, leaving no room for error. Because if you do, someone's going to execute that and take advantage of that room, of that error. And probably you're going to lose a couple spots, whether that's one spot, two spot, or half the whole fleet. Now here we are in Portimao. This is day number 5 of the 2026 iQFOiL European Championships in Portugal, in Portimao. We've got an amazing location here. It is just dreamy. We've got wingfoiler there. Having a great time. We've got wingfoil competition after this event as well. It's going well. We're having a good time. I think that is Henry Myers actually on the wing. Shout out Henry, he's here for a good time. You know, it's not only iQFOilers that are here enjoying the conditions, enjoying this location. It's also Henry Myers, all the way from down under, having a good time, all the way from Australia, you know, made his way here because, you know, Portimao is one of those absolutely world-renowned locations, not only for surfing here. We've got one of the beginners absolutely shredding, getting her first glimpses of surfing, first glimpse of water sports. You know what you're ready next for? iQFOiling. But yeah, it's dreamy. I mean, here, you know, the water's pretty light now. The wind is pretty light. Still, we've got some waves through. We've got some people enjoying the sun, lounging out on the beach. We've got really nice beaches here. White sand, you know. The water, I do have to say, the water is a bit chilly though. It's a bit chilly indeed. I think it was 17 degrees. Don't quote me on that. But yeah, we got around 25 degrees of air temperature. But the water is a little bit chilly. Now today, 26 degrees. 26 degrees of air temperature. We're at the south of Spain on the Atlantic. So it's a little bit chilly, the water, as we said. But, you know, a lot of these riders won't even be touching the water today because they'll just be flying high over the water. However, we have seen a few crashes today, a few wipeouts, a few falling ins on the water. You know, that happens. You know, that happens when these riders are finding the limits, pushing the limits. Now, a lot of them are just teetering on that limit, like really just stepping a very fine line. But, you know, like walking a tightrope, you know, it's epic once you're on it. You know, it's exhilarating. It looks cool. But it's pretty easy to overstep that line, you know. It's pretty easy to overstep that line. And when you do, it can all come crashing down. And when these riders here at this racing, you know, just overstep the line, you know, it can be a little overstep the line. Possibly it can just be a slight touchdown in attack at the end of a jibe. And we've seen, actually, that can still mean the difference between losing places. As we saw in some of those slaloms earlier on today, some of those riders just touching down, that reduced their speed and that opened up a gap for the rider behind them or in front of them to just gain. Or on the other end, it could be a big step over that line, a big step over the boundary, and that can mean crashing. That can be a big wipeout, as we saw in that previous race on the start. We saw Tom Arnoux and Nicola Renner really threading the needle on the start line, on their timing. They were so close to that pin. I think just slightly a little bit too close. So close to that pin because they were so close on their timing. And unfortunately, that boundary was just overstepped a little bit, meaning that there was a crash, and probably that race will be a discard for them. But we do have discards here in the iQFOiL European Championships. Now, discards can be literally you throw one of your results away. You throw your worst result away. Now, this can happen. You know, you can't throw all your worst results away. You can only throw away one result every. So there's one discard after 3 races, there's one after 7, and there's one after 11. So you can play that how you want. You know, if you have a big crash, for example, or you have a really bad race, whatever that is, maybe you break some equipment, or maybe you stop foiling. You do have that at the back of your mind that you are able to discard that race, forget about it. However, there's only so many you can think about it like that, because as we said, you only get a few discards. So it's all, you know, no matter what race these riders are going, they're pushing for every single little bit, because, you know, you might have messed up one race, you might stop foiling, but what's to say that might not happen at the next race or the race after that? So no matter what race they are doing, they are really just going for it, really going for it, and that's what we've seen today. And not only, you know, we're at the tail end of this competition now. We're on the penultimate day of the 2026 iQFOiL European Championships. So the pressure really is on. Tomorrow, only the top 10 will be racing it out tomorrow. But anyone inside of that top 10 does get a shot at getting that European Championship title. Now, if you come in 10th, you do have an absolute mountain to climb to get that European Championship title, but it is possible. The higher you qualify into those medal races, the more reward you get, to be rewarded, to value all your work throughout the week. The top 2 go in to that grand final. They already have a ticket into that grand final. Now, both of the top 2, they both already get a win. So whoever wins that last race out of those 2 can win. Now the 3rd, 4th places, the 5th, the 6th places, 7, 8, 9, 10, they all race it out. You know, if you're higher up in those rankings, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, you get free tickets into the corresponding final, whether that's the semi-final or the quarter-final. So we start with quarter-finals, then on to semi-finals, and finishing it off with that grand final. But as we said, only the top 10 will make it through. So they are pushing. Not only are the people around that kind of 10th spot are pushing into those medal races, the people already inside of those medal races will be trying their best to give themselves the best possible opportunity to get that European Championship title tomorrow. Now, we said not only is it those people around the 10, it's also the people inside of that top 10. But also everyone will be going their max today, because for the vast majority of these riders, this is their last day of the competition. Because, as we said, only the top 10 race tomorrow. So they will be going full out, full out. We saw them go full out this morning in the slalom races. We've seen them go full out in the course races that we just had now. And not only are we on the last day, we're probably on to the last races of the last day. So they're pushing extra hard. Now, we're just waiting for suitable conditions to come through yet again, to get racing underway for this course racing here on day number 5 of the European Championships. So this is a great opportunity if you want to have a look back at the exhilarating races that we had this morning. Well, around midday. Not this morning, but earlier on today, let's say. We had some full power slalom heats. It was windy. It was light at points, it was gusty, it was shifty, and it was really exciting. So make sure you wind back a little bit to have a look at those races. But for now, we will just have a wait, and we will go on hold until we get suitable conditions once again to get racing underway. So do not go anywhere, and I'll see you again very soon. Hello again, you lovely lot. We are now seeing the ribs sending it back to the beach with their athletes on the ribs. We see Noah Lyons and Makani Andrews on the rib there, along with all the other riders making their way back to the beach. And that is because racing is now finished. Racing is finished for day number 5 of the 2026 iQFOiL European Championships. It has been absolutely exhilarating. Thank you so much for joining. You will definitely want to join tomorrow though, because it is the last day. The whole week has led up to that moment tomorrow where we will be crowning our 2026 European champions. To see who is racing out tomorrow, to see all the latest updates, all the latest results, do check out the website. You can check who is making it in there, and also the overall standings from all the others from outside of the top 10. Also, make sure you check out the Instagram, the social media, the Facebook for all the latest updates, for on-water video and interviews from the riders. And most importantly, make sure you join us tomorrow to see who becomes our 2026 iQFOiL European champions. I'm Rafty Reed. This has been day number 5, and we'll see you tomorrow for the last day of the 2026 iQFOiL European Championships here in Portimao. Thank you.